Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here at the WEINIG-Arena. I am especially happy there are so many of you here now on the first afternoon of the LIGNA 2013. My name is Andreas Kuhn, and I am pleased to accompany you through the WEINIG-Arena with interview partners and lots of information. I am not actually from the trade, but a radio presenter. But after having first encountered Weinig 10 to 15 years ago, I got hooked. I don't know about you, but those of you who know Weinig are aware of the fact that with Weinig the machines are high technology. They are always top-notch products with the best ideas behind them, and of course, perfect. What I love about Weinig are the employees. You can feel their passion. They approach their task with a verve for wood. We all know that the best machines can only be as good as the people who develop them, that deal with them, who work with the machines, who may even in the near future be installing the machine in your company for you, and that is Weinig's specialty. The communication and cooperation with their clients, the cooperation on the machines, on the systems, on the contexts. That is why I am happy every year to get in touch with Weinig. We have many highlights to show you. You know that Weinig works wood is not just an empty phrase, it is a passion. We are able to see that in the film, and it is also valid for Weinig's range of profiling, cutting and optimizing for windows and also for wedge-shaped connections and end profiling. All of that is Weinig technology. We can only repeat by saying that when we are at the LIGNA, all you really have to do is come to this hall, Hall 12, and you will find everything that makes woodworking possible. Everything from one source, everything from the company Weinig with its diverse brands that are all part of it. Gracon, for example, you know them all. These are the specialists with which you can bring excellent quality into your company, and with that, of course, also the highest possible performance. But first of all, you are right. The guy up front can say anything he wants to. We want to have it checked. The best company is not only as good as its machines, but also as good as its clients. So now we would like to present one of Weinig's most profiled clients and ask him whether everything we are saying is true. It's not necessarily obvious, but we have one here who in the meantime is now located with different businesses throughout Europe. Please welcome Stefan Rubner, the president of Rubner Holding, with a big round of applause. Hello, good day. Mr. Rubner, nice to have you here. You came here especially today from South Tyrol, from the Pustertal, did you? No, I arrived yesterday via Magdeburg, and then this morning at 7 I started clambering around Weinig systems here. You were climbing around Weinig systems because they smell so good, or why? To check on them and to be prepared. We already mentioned Magdeburg. You've just set up a big plant there with Weinig technology. We'll be talking about that in a minute. Maybe you can first of all tell us a bit about your company. Many of us, of course, know it, but you see yourself less as a president, more as a conductor of an orchestra. You like to compare your company to an orchestra. Around 7 months ago, we started with a new brand strategy. In a longer preceding process, we collected all our brands under one umbrella. Around 15 different brands communicating on the market. And for 7 months now, we have restructured everything and have started using the image of an orchestra for the different projects we have chosen. Because in the value process chain wood, we deal with different tasks and have to meet the most diverse of client demands. We work together with different companies to do so. We have many excellent soloists, but our clients want to hear all the passionate musicians playing as a whole orchestra. We have a good leadership and also are an excellent orchestra that we communicate with, and have also oriented our products in this direction. Which instrument do you like to play most? Do you have a favorite instrument? You are never allowed to say which one is your favorite child. Never. Is it difficult to keep this orchestra running, to keep them all playing the right music? Well, of course, in our orchestra we also have divas, people that think they are especially good. We have a huge amount of soloists that are, of course, excellent in their field. But we also have to get them to play together, and that also means respectfully. They have to deal with each other in a fair manner and are not always at the same level, from the level of performance, the willingness to perform in regards to their experience, etc. There are ups and downs, and also the markets are not always playing with us. It is difficult. There are a lot of emotional moments to do with sound bound to that image, but there are very down-to-earth sectors as well, sober individual companies that you are wanting to show us too, I think. Exactly. These are the brands we are communicating with at the moment. We currently have 5 different business divisions. The first is the wood sector. Here we are communicating with individual brands, but with the umbrella brand's clear support. This has to do with the fact that we would like to play transparently on the market. We also want to go along openly with the individual brands that belong to the Rubner Group. We also have competitors that buy individual products from us, and then there are 4 strategic business divisions: engineering, wood construction, timber house building, object construction and the door sector, which all work with construction sites and communicate directly with the brand name Rubner, but with a service description. Here you can see the different sites, the different sales sites, etc. There's a lot of participation involved there. How many employees do you have approximately? In total, there were more than 1,500 in 32 societies around the end of 2012. And you conduct all of them from South Tyrol? Well, we are trying anyway, but we have very good conductors on site. You also have a very special company philosophy that you have summarized with several phrases at the core of your brand. These are not exactly phrases or terms that one would immediately associate with the wood industry. Are you someone that tries to create an emotional substructure in the company so that the people say it's not just to do with a simple product, but also with what is possible? Wood is, after all, a living material. We are connected by something special, and that is our passion for wood. We thought about what the core values are that one should associate with Rubner. And in the past we did research, we talked to our clients, etc., and focused on 8 important core values for the brand. In the meantime, we have had very good feedback and opinions from clients and so on, how they experience the brand Rubner. These 8 terms that glow with each contact with clients every day are summarized in the word wood passion. This is what we have bound ourselves to, and it is especially close to our hearts.
Das Ganze wird dann eigentlich zusammengefasst durch das Wort Holzleidenschaft, dem wir uns einfach verpflichtet fühlen und das uns ganz besonders am Herzen liegt.
So now we of course need to talk about the topic Weinig. I hope you will be glad to talk about Weinig. If not, I will have to ask you to leave the stage. No, seriously, the topic passion is very important. Was it passion that led you to Weinig? What brought you to Weinig? How did you notice Weinig? Weinig has been accompanying us our whole history. I have known Weinig or Weinig products since I was a boy. In the past, we have used many Weinig products, recently again and again in the most diverse companies.
In letzter Zeit immer wieder in verschiedensten Unternehmen, wenn wir noch einmal weitergehen und noch einmal eben unsere Marken und Standorte aufzeigen.
If we go further and look at our brands and sites, I think there is not a single site that is not using at least one Weinig product. So you have Weinig technologies, so almost in part a foundation for your company. Yes, definitely. Everywhere there is something from Weinig, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on the technology we were looking for at the time. For example, in Magdeburg, the company worked a lot with Weinig and is currently setting up the new plant in which a large percentage of the machines is from Weinig. How important was Weinig's competence for you? You said you assembled a completely new site near Magdeburg. The plant was newly created. I think it is possible to say that over 200 employees will be active there or are already active there. How far was Weinig's competence, Weinig's communication important for you there? Well, for us it was important because it was an extension to a plant. Around 12-13 years ago, we first invested there. Parallel to that, we now have erected a second plant for small crosscuts. This time it was even more important for us to have as few interfaces as possible and still to start as quickly and reliably as possible. Reliable? Does that work? Normally. If not, what happens? Well, if you take into consideration how complex these plants are, then you know that mistakes do happen. Then you have to make adjustments, and that was one big reason for us to decide on Weinig. A company that is there for its customers and that we can definitely rely on if something should not run as smoothly to begin with. I fortunately already have so much experience that I know that you do not just buy a machine, turn the key and then wait for it to work. I can imagine that is also something that is always praised, that the communication and cooperation with Weinig is especially good at an adequate level. That is something that seems to be very important. Is there a machine that you would actually quite like to stand in front of and enjoy using it yourself? Or is there a machine that is especially easy to use? Is there a model that you would say you would like to buy it, take home for when you're bored? In the past there was a small planer with 3 buttons that I liked, but in the meantime everything has become far too complex for me. I do not have any single one in my company that I actually operate myself, but I do enjoy watching. But I far prefer that my employees can do that, and they are far better than me at it. I believe that, yes. In the training centre in Tower Bischofsheim where the machines are shown. One more question. Is there a specific machine that you would like Weinig to make, something you would like to suggest as a top product that the developers should think about and build? Do you have that kind of vision? Maybe something really crazy? Actually, I can't think something up that quickly, or to be honest, I wouldn't blurt that kind of idea out that quickly. Well, if worse came to worse, at Weinig they might just say that it already exists. Who knows? Mr. Rubner, what about your goals for the future for the company? You have already told us that you have many companies also in France, as I see. What are your goals for your company? Consolidation, further growth, maybe across the big pond? Well, we're in the middle of a big internationalization process. We are trying now to make the brand Rubner known throughout Europe, especially the sector of engineering wood construction, which is slightly critical at the moment, although we are quite strong there. We are by far the market leader in Europe and would like to come away slightly from the Italian market and to make ourselves an even bigger name throughout the rest of Europe.
Aber ansonsten von den Investitionen her, wir haben im letzten Jahr in der Gruppe ungefähr 35 Millionen Euro investiert.
In the last year, our group invested around 35 million euros, so there's quite a lot being started up. The times are not necessarily such that we have large investment plans now. We will try to consolidate now. Right, Mr. Rubner, we wish you a huge success for your company's future and lots of contact with Weinig.